All right, let's go, because you know what I came in to do.
I don't get paid for overtime. I'm here to fight.
When are you guys out there gonna start understanding? Right? It's not about the money. I'll fight him for free. As long as the tickets are free for the general public, fuck off. You want money, you want too much money, you're not the draw you think you are, that fight's not as big as you think it is. Greed. If you are about legacy, if you want to be undisputed, then you take the fight. Oh, so you're going to get 50 or 60 million instead of the 80 or 100 or 125 million that you asked for. Fuck me. Greed. You've all been played for all these years.
But yo, you step this way, you're getting played out of position.
Ain't nobody else's fault. You played yourself.
You know, Tyson Fury, Frank Warren, Bob Arum, it's not just Tyson Fury. They've been using Usyk's name and Anthony Joshua's name to sell fights, like Derek Chisora. Now they're going to try and get some mileage from this Usyk shit to sell a Joe Joyce fight, which is not going to be popular. There's going to be a backlash for this. And it's just starting. It's only the start. If Team Fury knew they was only going to give Usyk 70-30, right? There'd be no point of going into negotiation because the Ukrainians would just walk away. What's the point? Taking all this time.
Usyk is ringside tonight. We saw him goading you as well during the fight.
I don't know where he is. Where's Alexander Usyk, the rabbit? Hey, rabbit! Usyk, you're next, little bitch. You're next. You are next. Me and you, sucker, next. Me and you. You're getting it, little sucker. Rabbit. Pussy. Look at it. 15-stone little midget beat a bodybuilder. Well, I ain't a bodybuilder, sucker. I'm going to write you off.
That was post-fight Derek Chisora. It looks like he was just putting on a show for the crowd, talking up a fight that he's got no intentions of taking.
I think they are not in a training camp. It means that they just did not take the decision to fight. I think we have to be realistic.
I see all this talk of boxing fights. They want 50%. Usyk's and all this. Tyson's being greedy. Where I'm standing, Usyk, you and your team are worth 30%. You either take it or you leave it. And if you don't want it, go and fight Daniel Dubois at the Copper Box and get a few $1 million. You want to make some real money? Come and fight the Gypsy King. But I will say, for every day from today that you linger, mess around, I'm going to deduct 1% from the 30%. So every day I'm going to deduct 1% until you take it. And if you don't take it, fight Dubois for $2 million. Not a problem. But how in the world could Jews ever offer me a deal? Not possible. TikTok.
Why does Luke always put deadlines on the fights that people want to see? Tick-tock, tick-tock. Gave Anthony Joshua a 48-hour deadline in September for a fight in December. Then, he ran out of patience with AJ and Eddie. But yet, he offered Derek Chisora the fight before September, before August. Derek turned down the deal and still got the fight in December. The Tyson Fury fans will tell you, he was doing Del Boy a favour because he's an old mate. Boxing fans don't give a about boxers doing other boxers favours. We want to see the best fight the best. So you put a demand on AJ and now you're putting demands on Alexander Usyk. You're going to take a point off every day. He doesn't jump up and sign. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Every day I'm going to take a point off you and you better jump up like a dog when I say. And that's how Spence was talking to Crawford. Crawford needs to accept these ridiculous splits. First you got to win a belt and cross over our side of the street. And you got to do all this and that. And you expect these athletes to comply with that. That's talk of somebody who doesn't want to make the fight. Bottom line. Bob Arum is saying, don't jump up and negotiate in public. Well, if Arum is telling KRASSYUK not to discuss splits online, well, what was Tyson Fury doing there? What's his dad been doing?
John, just before I let you go, Fury, Usyk, Tyson, Usyk, what's been the hold-up on that?
Again, treat Tyson as the great champion he is. Stop trying to be the A-side. Usyk is not Tyson's equal. Fall in line, you'll get the fight done.
I'm not trying to be the A-side, John. 50-50 is what he asks. He's not trying to be the A-side.
Do not respect Tyson, you won't get the fight. Simple as that.
Do you still...
The money stage of it. Tyson's A-side, and Usyk is not worthy of 50-50. He couldn't sell the O2 out. So fall in line and you might get the fight.
Come on, man. How is it you're offering Usyk 70-30 in your favour, right? 70 in your favour. But you are offering Joshua 60-40. Joshua just lost twice on the bounce to Usyk. So you're going to try and now con the public and tell us that the Joshua fight last year, a man who had just lost twice to Usyk, is worth more than fighting Usyk for undisputed in 2023. Well, Saudi Arabia was not going to stump up the money for AJ versus Fury last year. 2021 it was. Eddie got the site fee, 150 million. And guess who blew that fight off? But that was for undisputed. If anything, you're hustling yourself or you're trying to duck Alexander Usyk. The numbers don't add up, you know. He made me laugh when he said, yeah, you can fight Daniel at the Copper Box. He better mind that his fight with Joe Joyce doesn't end up at the Copper Box if there's a massive backlash. Yeah? And if I was Usyk or KRASSYUK, I would vacate that WBA belt rather than give Daniel a shot. Because you're giving Daniel a payday. You know, after this here, why would you give a Warren fighter a payday? There's not much big paydays for Daniel if he doesn't fight Usyk. Let Daniel go fight Martin Bacoli. That's who you have to fight for the vacant belt. Fight Bacoli. Yeah. Let's see how Frank likes that. And there's always Deontay Wilder just behind Bacoli. Is this all a plot by Frank Warren and Bob Arum to keep it all in-house? Let Daniel get the shot at Usyk. Let Joyce fight Fury. Arum's been awfully quiet. Maybe he's taking his own advice when he told KRASSYUK to shut up. He's been very quiet.
What's changed from getting a deal done with the Saudis and now being apparently unable to get a deal done in London?
I can tell you only from the words that I hear from my negotiators, my partners, Frank and George Warren. According to their reports, Tyson Fury was asking for too much money. Even if Usyk would get zero for the fight, it would not be still not be sufficient for Tyson to cover his wants.
Let's not forget, Team Usyk and KRASSYUK tried to say if a Joe Joyce fight was to happen, Joe Joyce has to take less than 10% of the split from his oddball calculations, which had nothing to do with ethics at all. You're going to come out and tell us that a fighter has to come and take less than fucking 10%? For what reason at all would that be ethical, despite what Joyce earned from that purse or what Usyk earned? I mean, the WBO minimum is 20%. You can't go no lower. This guy wants to give Joyce less than 10.
What comes around goes around.
But who in their right mind thinks that 70-30 for someone who has 3 straps, undefeated, Olympic champion, undisputed cruiserweight champion is acceptable? Who in their right mind believes this? I mean, Ali was a huge A-side against Joe Frazier. Frazier had all the straps. The American government stripped Ali of his license. He couldn't fight for a few years. Let's not get into the intricacies of that. But Ali was a global icon. He already beat Liston twice and made several defenses. But when Ali came back, he fought Jerry Quarry, Oscar Bonavena, who were number 1 and number 2 contenders, right? He fought both of them and still split the purse 2.5 apiece with Frazier and made it easy as possible.
I want to see Fury fighting Usyk. That's because it's completely different styles, and I do take your point, and I do think Fury would be too big for him.
The purse split is the problem. It's business. It's not just a fight that suits us. It's what suits them, and he can take his pick what he wants to do.
There goes TalkSport and their merry band of alcoholics and former Tottenham Hotspur footballers like Alan Brazil, Danny Murphy and Jamie O'Hara, who all of a sudden have turned into boxing pundits and analysts. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And this is the biggest outlet who talks boxing on a regular basis. And this is what we've got to listen to. And there's going to be so much Tyson Fury fans, and we're going to stick behind the words of absolute plonkers like Alan Brazil. And if you've noticed, they always let Simon Jordan interview Frank Warren. They won't let Adam Catterall, who's a Tyson Fury fan, they won't let Adam Catterall anywhere near Frank Warren. Frank probably won't allow it. Apparently he only lets Umar at IFL interview him. Doesn't want the grilling.
He doesn't have to do it. He'll fight who he likes.
Yeah, but he can't say, I'll fight him anywhere. I'll fight him for nothing if he wants to fight, and then go back on that.
Of course he can.
Oh, come on.
Of course they can.
Just get the fight on. Everybody wants to see it.
It will be done when it's 60-40 or 70-30. Yes, it will. He is the champion. He is the campione.
Yes,
okay?
I agree.
You know, more bullcrap from Ali McCoy and Alan Brazil, who I used to watch at White Hart Lane when he used to play back in the day. He's the campione. Well, what is Usyk then? If Tyson Fury's the champion, what is Usyk? And it feeds into this xenophobic, well, he's the British guy, which Tyson conveniently uses to his advantage. And then he's the oppressed gypsy in his next breath.
Usyk ain't on the list. He's a no-name. No one's interested, and it doesn't make any money. So what would I want to fight him for? It's a small cruiserweight. A foreigner don't speak good English, and nobody's really interested anyway. He's not setting anything alight. I want the big fights that people are interested in, and that ain't one of them.
What if he was to beat Joshua?
Still, it won't be a big fight. He's still a foreigner in a westernised world. The belts are back in the West, and they're going to stay there. And, you know, so whatever it sounds like, the heavyweight champion should be from Britain or America, nowhere else. That's it. Because maybe in Ukraine he might be a big star, but the Britain or America ain't interested in some Ukrainian boxers boxing in Ukraine, and that's the way it is. The heavyweight champion of the world needs to be in the West, and that's it. That's how it goes.
You fuckers in the media, you spent so much time on Anthony Joshua's Black Lives Matter speech. Did you hear what he said there? Here's a challenge. Find me one receipt from the mainstream sporting media in Britain or around the world where they pulled him up on what he said there. But look, I'm not concerned about that because he used that as a way to get out of a Usyk fight. That's what he did there, you know, because if it's all about anonymous Europeans who don't make no money if you fight them, since you boxing fans want to crown this guy the lineal champion for when he came back in 2018, even though he popped for steroids, and if you have any kind of title or belt and you pop for steroids, what happens to your lineage of that belt? But let's go with what you're saying, your revisionist criteria of what makes him a champion, right? Since the lineal champion came back in 2018, he's fought 9 times. And if you're going to count them as lineal defenses, 4 of them were against Europeans, obscure Europeans, Sefri, Pianetta, Wallin, Schwartz. I won't say Derek was obscure because he's not obscure, but he is a journeyman. But it's a little more complex. You know, he's a journeyman who does pay-per-views, right? But nevertheless, a journeyman with 12 defeats. Nobody wanted to see that fight. We can't question the 3 Wilder fights. He won 2 of them, and he fought his mandatory Dillian. So you fought 5 Europeans with less notoriety than Alexander Usyk. And let's not forget, Usyk beat Derek. You have no problem beating up obscure Europeans. But I guess obscure Europeans with gold medals from the Olympics and undisputed titles from Cruiser, unified heavyweight titleists, you're not too keen on taking on.
Why does Fury have to fight anyone? He is the undisputed king of the world. Why does he have to fight Usyk? We're talking a cruiserweight, a very good cruiserweight, fighting the best in the world.
Some people are asking, well, Beats, why do you concentrate so much on TalkSport? They're the biggest outlet who talk boxing, and they're talking to a lot of Tyson Fury fans who lap up everything he's saying. He's the undisputed king. He's the lineal champion. He's this, he's that. He's not undisputed. There's another man out there with 3 straps. This drunk is totally ignoring that.
He doesn't have to do anything, Adam. He has 200 million in the bank. He can pick and choose what he does. He's beat them all.
He's beat them all. I mean, you know, he dissed AJ earlier. Not a heavy diss, but AJ has made, how much, 7 or 8 defenses? He brought the money back into the division, done stadium fights. He's reigned as unified champion twice. You don't have to fight that guy in your era. Since when? Since when? This is why I know a lot of these people, they act like they're big, strong, tough boxing talk, but they have no connection with the history of the sport. They don't know how it was done previously or what the criteria were to be considered the best of your generation. They haven't got a clue about it. If you think you don't have to beat AJ, and don't get me wrong, if AJ loses to Franklin, it's a different story. But if you don't think you have to beat Anthony Joshua and a few more relevant contenders, let's say Joyce, Andy Ruiz, Hrgovic, and whoever's up there right now to become the best of your generation, it doesn't make sense. But forget that right now. You certainly have to fight Alexander Usyk. You certainly have to fight him. Or anyone saying he's the best of his generation and he's pricing himself out ridiculously. You want to give Usyk 5% more than what you gave Dillian, who didn't have a strap?
Are we going to get an update from Frank Warren's camp regarding Fury and Usyk? Somehow I doubt it,
Let me tell you
Simon.
something. If he doesn't take this fight, Fury, he should be ashamed of himself.
Yeah.
That's how strong it should be, because we've had to listen to a lot of nonsense. We've been very critical of other fighters. We've called out people like Anthony Joshua. We've made observations about other promoters and put their feet to the fire.
Yeah.
If Frank and more to the point, his fighter, with all the noise that goes with Tyson, does not take this fight, then he should be ashamed of himself.
Well, especially after what Usyk's promoter Alexander KRASSYUK told us.
Yeah.
Okay, 50-50, that get bombed out. Then we looked at 60-40, the winner taking 60, the loser 40, and they didn't go for that either.
We give lots of praise to Fury. We've had lots of criticism of Joshua. We went down on Fury's side. Constantly Tyson gets the good word. This isn't good enough. The fight against Chisora wasn't good enough, and if he doesn't take this fight and he ducks this fight, he starts moving into the territory of the very things that he's very vocal of accusing other people of.
I don't think Simon Jordan is prepared to do the Gareth A. Davis thing by the looks of it. You know what I mean? And that's fair dues. That's fair dues. You got to keep this energy, though. You got to keep this energy. TalkSport are very important. A lot of people say, well, Beats, why are you focused on TalkSport? They're very important. They're not guys who have to stay neutral to get interviews. Respect to all you media channels on YouTube. I understand the grind. I understand. But TalkSport don't have to do that. If Frank Warren doesn't like what Simon Jordan is saying, well, he's going to like it even worse when nobody turns up to watch Joyce fight Tyson Fury and then tries to pitch Daniel Dubois in a fight with Usyk. He's not going to like it at all. Trust me. Yeah, it's all right for Bob Arum. He's in America. He's well away from the crossfire. Can't even guarantee that Joe Joyce will get the fight because Francis Ngannou has been spoken about a whole lot. Wow. According to Michael Benson, this is a late edit. This is a very late edit. Alexander Usyk accepts Tyson Fury's 70-30 offer for an undisputed fight on April the 29th at Wembley, so long as Greedy Belly donates $1 million to the Ukraine. Now, will Fury agree to that? I have a feeling you shouldn't put no conditions on it at all. Fury, you will use anything to wiggle out of it, and that includes that clause there. He'll find something about it.
Deal. Hey, Greedy Belly, I accept your offer. 70-30 split to fight with you on April 29th at Wembley. But you will promise to donate to Ukrainian immediately after the fight. On £1 million on every day of your deal, you will pay 1% from your poorest to Ukrainian people. Deal.
Called your bluff, Fury. He called your bluff. Damn. I'll tell you what, if Fury has been ducking this fight like a lot of people suspect he has, there's no wiggle room here. There's none at all. And if you're not in training camp, you better get in that training camp quick. Don't even try and sell a Joe Joyce Fury fight if you duck this. Don't even try and sell a Usyk Daniel Dubois fight if you duck this. Don't even try, Frank. Don't even try. Frank, retire. If your man don't take this fight, retire from boxing. Because I don't think at your age you'll be able to handle the barrage that's going to come at you. Either retire or throw Tyson under the bus. One of the two. Fury better donate that £1 million, not dollars, pounds, right? Because he said, when it broke out in the Ukraine, he said that him and his dad will go over there and fight. Yeah? That's what you said. You said you'd go over there and fight.
Tyson, on a more serious note, obviously you talked about Vladimir Klitschko just now, and obviously you've beaten him in the past, but just wanted to get your view on the fact that Vitaly and Vladimir Klitschko and your fellow heavyweight world champion Alexander Usyk going back to their country to enlist and sign up and halt the invasion from Putin at the moment. I just wondered what your thoughts were for those guys that they want to protect their own country.
Fantastic, you know. I'll be the first one to join up if England get involved or America. I'll be first in line for the job. My dad will as well, and all the boys will all be signing up to defend. So that's what I got to say. I think if you're from that country, living there, defend her. Love your woman and fight for your country. That's what I say.
Get on there.
Everybody should be absolutely pulling for the Ukraine. You know, standing up to the bully, standing up for democracy. That is what everybody should. And those four fighters, 2 ex-fighters, and that everybody should be behind them. It's magnificent what they're doing.
Yep, I agree. You don't have to go on the front line, Tyson. Don't worry about that. Make sure you donate that milli, though. You know what I mean?
I get played like a fucking piano.